This video, y'all, this interview, it gotta be one of the biggest pieces of evidence against Dr. Umar that I've seen in a long time, okay? Dr. Umar is gonna actually call this radio station. You're gonna see on WURD, which is a very well-known radio station here in Philadelphia, okay? They do a lot of pro-black stuff. I've seen them throughout the city over the years. All right, even at events that I've filmed, okay, I've seen them plenty of times. Dr. Umar, I think, has a friend there. But what he's gonna say on this interview, if this is brought to court, all right, seriously, if this FDMG stuff and this scam, which in my opinion is a scam, all right, if this is brought to court, they should play this radio interview, because Dr. Umar here, in my opinion, is lying, blatantly lying, and leaving out something that's so important that you cannot miss it. Watch this.
About the situation going on there in Delaware, the war against black people. I thought that maybe Donald Trump was the only one waging the war against black people, but it seems like a lot of black people are waging the war against black people. I call them anti-black. I don't care what color you might be, you can still be anti-black. And it seems like there are a lot of anti-black people in Wilmington, Delaware. We're going to hear some more from Dr. Umar Johnson. Now check this out, Bob.
Also, gotta say this: I'm watching this. We're looking at Eat with Philly Phil talk show and more. That's where I'm watching this from. Okay, Eat with Philly Phil talk show and more, because this is not on the WURD website or their YouTube. So I had to go to YouTube to actually find this radio interview. All right, so let's hit play. I just want to make sure I mention that. All right, let's go.
One of the reasons I took issue with the deputy chief of staff's email to this random YouTuber is not only did he lie and claim that there were multiple.
So a black man calling a check on your school that was created through donations from across the world is nothing more than a random YouTuber. Okay, let's hit play.
Follow-ups with the deputy chief of staff's email to this random YouTuber is not only did he lie and claim that there were multiple follow-ups with us when we heard from nobody about anything from March the 7th until August the 8th when the sheriff put that sign on our door.
So you heard what he just said? He said, we didn't hear from anybody from March the 7th. This is important. That's why I'm stopping this video to say this, okay? He said from March the 7th to August 8th, they didn't hear from anybody. But watch Dr. Umar then change that story in this interview, okay? I'm not going to play his whole interview, but watch. He said from March the 7th to August, when the signs are put on the door saying that the school FDMG could be sold in a sheriff's sale. I'm going to rewind this so you can hear it one more time, because I'm not making this up.
This is also a lie and claim that there were multiple follow-ups with the deputy chief of staff's email to this random YouTuber is not only did he lie and claim that there were multiple follow-ups with us when we heard from nobody about anything from March the 7th until August the 8th when the sheriff put that sign on our door, but this is also a pattern with the city of Wilmington with regard to the FDMG Academy, Baba. They give out our information to anybody who calls.
Wow.
There's no privacy. There's no confidentiality. There's no discretion. Anybody who calls that city with questions about the school, they will tell them all of our business. This is how most of the haters have gotten the school's information, because they voluntarily share information with people who don't even live in the city of Wilmington.
They can do that, though, because your school has been created, all right, even though the school's not really created, it's a building that he bought. But let's give him let's try to be nice here. The schools have been created by donations from all across the world. So someone could be in China. If they sent you money and they're from China, they should be able to call Wilmington and ask a question about what they've invested in. Okay, simple as that, Dr. Umar. This is not a property that you bought in North Philly somewhere just as a chill spot. This is a school supposedly supposed to be a school for black boys, okay, like never before seen in the history of the world. That's basically how you're pushing it. If that's the case, you shouldn't be upset if people call about the school. You should be ready for it. All right, have everything in order. Let's go.
Don't even live in the state of Delaware, and they just share our information.
Is it public information, though?
Say that again.
Is it public information?
Some of it is public, but not all of it is public.
Dr. Umar had to think of a lie. That's why he said, say that again. Okay, I wish the guy simply said, wait a minute, Dr. Umar, this building, people should be able to check on, like I just said. But let's continue.
You see, and in this case, Baba, he told a blatant lie. He said from April to August, I'm quoting him from the YouTube video that somebody sent me because I didn't even know that he was communicating with a YouTube hater.
When he says he, if you don't know, he's talking about I believe the deputy chief of staff in Wilmington who was contacted by a YouTuber. When he's saying he's saying this man, this guy from Wilmington, okay, said like for example, the guy said, we contacted Dr. Umar this very week. All right, Dr. Umar is saying this man's lying. All right, the man also said, if I'm not mistaken, he said that they were trying to contact Dr. Umar for months. Okay, and Dr. Umar wasn't responding or he was not coming to the table. Okay, but let's hit the player.
Said, quote, from April through August, multiple follow-up attempts from the finance department regarding the outstanding fees. Baba, we heard from nobody at all about anything from the city of Wilmington.
We're going to stop and say this. Dr. Umar just said about the outstanding fees. Understand this. Dr. Umar's own mouth said the school had outstanding fees. If I was an investor in FDMG, I would be livid. I would be trying to find where this man located. I'll be so upset. I'll just say that. If I gave money to this man. Because you're going to sit here on a radio, on WURD, and say the school had outstanding fees. He literally confessed and said the school has outstanding fees. Okay? How could the school have outstanding fees when you were giving over $1 million out to Umar, okay, to donate to the school? You yourself said, I never asked for money for myself. The money only went to donations for the school. Okay? The school costs $400-something grand. All right. You were giving, like, at the very least, out of your own mouth, you were giving over $1 million. I think he said you were giving over $1 million. So and people have found you've been giving at least $1.5 million. All right. But let's say he just was giving only $1 million. All right. Just $1 million. It's the lowest of the low. If you had just $1 million, you should have at least $600 grand left over. All right. Because the buildings cost $400-something grand to buy. So it doesn't matter how many years have elapsed. At the end of the day, you have $600 grand in your back pocket. You understand what I'm saying? So how is it that the building could be, and you just bought the building in 2019. All right. So how is it the building could be in the rears with anything, Dr. Umar? That doesn't make any sense. That shows that you are mismanaging the money. Okay, let's continue.
Attempts from the finance department regarding the outstanding fees. Baba, we heard from nobody at all about anything from the city of Wilmington from March the 7th until August the 8th. 5 whole months.
Well, would that be defamation? And a lot of people, not a lot, but some people have asked me, what about your legal counsel and advice? What have they been saying?
I'm working on that. And the reason I'm working on that, Baba, is I don't think this is going to stop until we push back. I think they're going to continue to play games with us. I think
so. He's establishing here, I'm the one that's being attacked. I'm the victim. From March 7th to August 8th, I've been the victim. I have not spoken to anyone. No one has tried to speak to me from March to August. Okay, I've been the victim. Even though it's my job to know the bills of the school. Even though it's my job to understand what's going on with the finances of the school, because thousands of, not 10, 20, but thousands of people have given money. Even if it was $1, they've given money because you pitched them a dream that the school be a reality. You understand what I'm saying? And so their money that was given, it was not given to put in your back pocket because they like the way you talk. The money was given for the school, specifically for the school. All right? That's why I don't understand how Dr. Umar is walking around and he's not arrested for fraud, because when it comes to what he's done with his money, he's admitting just in his interview that he's committed fraud. And it's not, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to, lie about him. I don't lie. I'm not a liar. But if you listen to what he's saying, he's telling you, I committed fraud. All right? How? Because he took people's money, said I would do one thing, and did not do that. To the point where you're actually sitting here saying that you had to contact the finance department. That doesn't make any sense. All the money that you had in your hand, there's no reason why you need to do that. You should have reached in your back pocket and paid every bill for the school. You should have just said, you know what? Then I must have missed that. I apologize. Then let all the donors know I must have missed the bill, but I paid it immediately. But he's not saying that. Listen to what he's saying. He's acting as if, he's someone who is behind on their phone bill and he doesn't have the money until his next paycheck to pay it off. That's how he sounds. And he's expecting us to be just as dumb as a brick and to listen to him and be caught in his speech instead of saying, wait a second, let's step back. All the money you've been given, this doesn't make any sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense at all, Dr. Umar. Where's the money at? Where's the money at? Did you commit fraud? And I'm going to tell you my opinion. I believe that he absolutely committed fraud. And much more than that. But let's hit play, y'all.
They're going to continue to be hostile towards us. They're going to continue to be negligent towards us. And they're going to continue to discriminate against us. So let me fast forward. So March the 7th, I get the letter. Excuse me, the letter was mailed March the 7th. I probably got it the last week of March, first week of April. I immediately called the Secretary of Delinquent Accounts. She said, see what L&I has to say. It comes from them, not us. We just carry it out. I talked to the Secretary of Vacant Property. She tells me she's going to give me a call back. She's going to look into this and see what they can do. Now, what they're saying, Baba, is they don't retroactively apply vacant property registration fee waivers, right? I can understand that. But I asked for a one-time exemption. Mm-hmm. If you can't give it to me, just say that. Mm-hmm.
Why do you need an extension, Dr. Umar? I mean, this is astonishing. Why do you need help? Why aren't you saying, here's the money? You understand what I'm saying, y'all?
We can move on. Right. I want to make this point very clear, Bob. Because what they're leaving out, because they're saying, well, we don't apply it retroactively. The man asked you if you could do it this one time, because they just paid $30,000 in water. And instead of just telling us, no, we're not going to do it. You either have to pay it or get a payment plan. But we're not going to. Baba, she completely ignored me.
So look at what he just said. This is very important. He said, instead of them telling me you can either pay it or go on a payment plan. If you have the money in your hand, you should have said, I'm going to pay it. Now, somebody said, oh, no, but what he said was that they didn't tell him that. The problem is that you should have said, I'm going to just pay that. He's even telling us by admitting this that could have been an option and that it was not paid. That's why she said you could either pay it or go on a payment plan. That's letting us know that Dr. Umar and the school were in the rears beyond a shadow of a doubt. You may say, well, that's already established, because the papers. But Dr. Umar, you have to understand, Dr. Umar is going to try to say that everything is a lie. He's going to try to say that the papers, all that stuff, it wasn't like it appeared. All stuff was just a lie. How about this, Dr. Umar? You were behind. He's going to try to, and what he's trying to say now is, oh, well, at the end of the day, I would have thought he would have came on here, right, and lied and said, look, I had the money. All right. But what happened was I just slipped up. I forgot. Okay. And I didn't realize that the school was in the rears in this way. I just forgot. It was my fault. I should have paid. I had the money. Of course I had the money. I have all the money from the donations. You know what I mean? But I just forgot. He could have just said that. But it's hard for him to do that because he came on them Instagram lives and was talking about we need to march on Wilmington XYZ. All right. Being very emotional, which is how Dr. Umar has been acting. Okay. Being very emotional and going on live, which is the worst thing you can do, is be emotional and go on live online today. He did that. He made like the worst mistake you can make more than once, and came on, and while he was emotional, he lied and then told some truth also, okay, about how they were struggling with these bills, which when the problem is that there should be no struggle. The money should be there. He himself said, I never asked for a donation for myself. It was only for the school. So where's the money at? The question that I have, and many people have, is where's the money at? The answer is that he stole the money. He stole the investors' money, and he's blatantly coming on an interview trying to blame the city of Wilmington, who has graciously allowed him to run a scam in their city. Okay? They graciously allowed this Philadelphian person, all right, to come and run a scam in their city, to use their city as a place for a scam, to allow people around the community to think that their boys can one day go there and be taught by black mentors, and have this scammer, which is Dr. Umar, in my opinion, speak to people in the community, which he has done. Even on video, we've seen him talk to people who've driven up and say, your boy is going to be going to my school and this and that, and to be lying to them and getting their hopes up. It would have been better if Dr. Umar had never shown up to that property and never bought any of that stuff, okay? Because since he has been there, all he has done has been lying to people and been using that city for a scam. Okay, and I care for this. I went to college in Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, so I know all about Wilmington, Delaware to a certain degree. I'm not the expert, but I know about it. I used to travel to that city and commute to that city every single day to go to school. Okay, and he went to that city. I know people in the city, all kind of stuff. Okay, spent the night at the city. Sometimes I had to spend the night with people in Wilmington, or outside of Wilmington, because of things with transportation, so on and so forth. Okay, when I was younger. So I know all about that stuff. And he's going to come to that city and abuse them and lie to them. And then attack the city that, as if the deputy chief of staff, I believe the guy's name is, okay, is lying when you can see from what he's saying that Dr. Umar is in a mess that he created himself.
Like I told you, I emailed her April 1st. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 4th. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 7th. She did not respond to my email. I emailed her April 16th. She did not respond to my email. I spoke to her on the phone at least a half dozen times. And
okay, so he said that no one contacted him since March 7th, okay? But now he's saying he spoke to the woman 6 times. He said I spoke to her at least half a dozen times. So now that goes against what you just said when you said nobody contacted you. No, I'm sorry. When Dr. Umar said that they didn't contact him for all of that time, from March 7th to August 8th, and he knew nothing about this. Okay, now he's going and telling us another story. Okay, about him talking to her on the phone, and how in actuality you were in contact with them, though you said before that you weren't.
Time she said she would get back to me with an answer, and guess what, Baba? That turned into 5 months. No reason.
Why do you need an answer? See what I'm saying? Why does she need it? Everything he's saying is hurting himself in this case. Okay. If I was prosecuting Dr. Umar, I would take what he just said right there and use it against him. She said she would get in contact with me with an answer. Wait a second, Dr. Umar. Why do you need an answer? You should have the answer. The answer is the donor's money. The answer is the donor's money. What do you mean she's going to get in contact with you with an answer? You're not in need. Okay, you have a surplus. You're not in need. You have a surplus, supposedly, but you don't. Because you stole the money. You committed fraud. And people will say, oh, we're hating Dr. Umar. No, it's obvious. Okay, it's obvious. 400 grand for the school. Over $1 million in donations. So 600 grand went where? Into the air. It went into his back pocket. It went to him traveling the world and sleeping with black women all across the world. Okay, with y'all donor money. Y'all literally gave him money to make a school, and instead he took the money and used it to throw money at women, okay, who wanted to sleep with him because he was a supposed great speaker and great mind of the day. And he used y'all money to do that, to throw money at them. I'm sure to probably send them across the world. I'm sure he's been very careful with how he did this, okay? But if someone really looked into this, they probably could find all kind of women that can sit here and say, look, he gave me this, he gave me this, he gave me that. Okay, he spent all kind of money on me. And that money was y'all money. All right?
Wow. And then the secretary of delinquent accounts, because what I did was I sent the email to the chief of staff of the mayor, not the deputy chief of staff. The man who sent this email to the YouTubers, Baba, he ain't got nothing to do with.
Let's go back. What did he just say?
Because what I did was I sent no response.
Wow.
5 months, no response. And then the secretary of delinquent accounts.
So he said 5 months, no response. And then he says, and then the secretary of delinquent accounts. Why is it that months were passing and you were delinquent? Once again, where is the money at? Months, you yourself, I think Dr. Umar actually realized that what he said it wasn't good. That's why he tries to move it to something else here. He realized that he just said something that makes himself, in this case, sound terrible for him to say, time passed and then a delinquency agency hit me up, which means that I didn't have the money. It sounds like that, and you cannot not see that unless he changes the conversation. So what is he about to do? He's about to take us down another road.
Because what I didn't answer, and guess what, Baba, that turned into 5 months, no response.
Wow.
5 months, no response. And then the secretary of delinquent accounts, because what I did was I sent the email to the chief of staff of the mayor, not the deputy chief of staff. The man who sent this email to the YouTubers, Baba, he ain't got nothing to do with nothing because I didn't include him in the correspondence. So you speaking.
I'm not going to watch all this. This is Labor Day. I'm about to get something to eat. All right, I'm not going to be sitting here like Dr. Umar waste my time. All right, but I want to make this video to show y'all, and for those that like to say that people are attacking Dr. Umar, we're not attacking him. We're just trying to show you, okay, that this man has wasted people's money. He's committed fraud. He's stolen from the black community. He's stolen from the black community. He's stolen from the black community, okay? That's what he has done. He's taken black people's money, and mostly black single mothers' money, who wanted the school to open for their black young men. And you know what he did? He stole the money. He stole the money. That's right. I'm doing it 3 times just like he does it. He stole the money. Okay, let's fast forward here. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let it play a little bit more than I'm in this video. You can watch the rest of it in your own time, okay? Because I'm sure it's full of lies. Full of lies.
About things you know nothing about, and you are being untruthful and dishonest and blatantly lying in what you are saying. So he wasn't even in the email trail. It was the deputy chief of staff. It was the commissioner for L&I. It was the secretary for delinquent accounts and the secretary for vacant properties. So I emailed them and I asked 3 questions, Baba. And guess what?
Not I called and said, when can I pay? But I emailed them, okay?
Nobody has answered the questions yet.
Wow.
They answered everything but my question. These are the 3 questions.
I gotta say this guy that's on the line with him, he notices what's going on. He sees what's going on. All right. And I gotta say this, y'all. Some of y'all black people, some of y'all black folks, I'm just gonna be frank here, okay? Some of y'all black folks, y'all don't have a backbone. Y'all don't have any kind of soul or spirit to allow, like, this woman online who's had issues with Dr. Umar. Her channel is called like Anti-Afro Svengali. Dr. Umar has come out and tried to send his Goonie Goons against her before years ago. All right, you probably heard, if you've seen that Randy went on, he was saying anti-Afro Svengali, you know what I mean? I'm coming for you, whatever he was saying, right? I can see why she would have a channel called Anti-Afro Svengali for people like Dr. Umar. All right, because this man is going to come out here and there are people like this guy on WURD and others that will allow this man to come on and lie, incriminate himself, spin games, okay, with words, okay, be a spin master, as I call him, okay, worse than any politician, and you allow this person to come on your platform, WURD. Now, I'm not trying to attack all WURD. I don't know if everyone was in agreement with this at WURD, but I will say that this man who's conducting this interview, at the very least, ask this man questions and say, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense, Dr. Umar. Okay, let me play devil's advocate here from the very beginning. Okay, at the very least, say that instead of just, well, Dr. Umar, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Wow, Dr. Umar. Oh, that's interesting, Dr. Umar. Just riding with him. Okay, just like the guy Charlemagne the God, just like him. All the intelligence that he seemingly has. Didn't Charlemagne the God write a book about black folks, all this kind of stuff? He has a book that he has behind him all the time. Okay, I don't know if he still does, but he had a book that was behind him for some time, a book that he wrote. So you have the mind to write a book to seemingly give knowledge, but you can't see Dr. Umar as a liar. Okay, but I can, and I'm a videographer. Okay, a regular everyday Christian street preacher, and I don't have a mind like you guys supposedly, but I can see this. YouTubers, some of YouTubers on that we see online, they don't even have jobs, and they can point this out. People struggling, the economy is crazy. You got YouTubers they're making, some of these cats I've seen are getting 500 views, 100 views. It was a guy that I saw online, true stories, a guy I saw this other day. You can probably find him. I can't remember the guy's name. God bless him. I think he was from New York or somewhere. Went to Delaware, went to Delaware and literally filmed the schools. Okay, true story. And the guy had like 1,500 or less than that views. All right. But thank God bless his heart, this guy went out there. Okay. This black guy went out there to try to show people evidence and said, look at this, look at that. And he was just showing the school. Dr. Umar wasn't there. There was a guy out there that said Dr. Umar usually comes on Tuesdays. And I think it was a Wednesday or whatever day it was. It wasn't a Tuesday. And he was talking to people in the neighborhood about the school and stuff. And it was a very, very good video. The guy, I think I watched the whole thing. And the kid was just explaining stuff. He was showing how the school had pipes that you can see, like drainage pipes that you can see coming off the roof that were literally like broken. All right. And it was all kind of like mildew and all kind of like black, like not soot, but like basically like, I guess you call it like grime and stuff that was collected on the that you could easily see because the school is painted yellow, so you can easily see all this kind of grime and mess that was on the sides of the school. All the windows were boarded up. It looked terrible. It looked so bad. It actually looked like he just bought the school. It looked that bad, like he done nothing to the school. Now I'm sure he's done something to the school. Okay, like painted that rock. Okay, he has like I think a mural painted. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, it's a mural with Frederick Douglass, and I think even him in there, as if he somehow a joint heir with them, as if he's somehow compatriot. He's somehow on their level. Okay, to them. I mean, just a scam. Just a scam. But the thing that gets me most is these people that allow them to come on and lie to their own people. They are the true Uncle Toms. I'm going to say that again. They are the true Uncle Toms. One more time. They are the true Uncle Toms because they allow this scammer to come on. So for all the people like Anti-Afro Stringali, okay, I checked her channel some time ago, and she didn't have hundreds of thousands of views, which means that she's not making a lot of money on YouTube from her videos. Some of her videos I've seen, they were getting hundreds or maybe 100 views, maybe 200 views. But this woman spent her, and God bless her, she spent her time in many years trying to expose Dr. Umar. Okay, this older black woman spent years trying to expose, tell people who he was. All right, and there are many YouTubers. You look at somebody like Linda Honor. Linda Honor makes money from Dr. Umar. I will say that. I'm not saying that against him. I'm just saying that this man makes more money than most YouTubers when it comes to talking against Dr. Umar. So people look at him and say, "Oh, everybody's making money like that." No, they're not. He's like 1 out of a million. The rest of them are like me. We're just, we're barely making any money at all. But we're taking our time out of our work schedules, okay, out of our real jobs, okay, to talk about this, to expose this. And what does Dr. Umar do? He causes YouTubing and struggle streamers, attacks us, and then continues to lie, knowing that there's a large amount of black people that don't understand the particulars about what's going on. And they think that when people hate on him, it's black on black hate. That's all it is black on black hate. Like the guy opened up by saying, I thought that just that Donald Trump he was hating, okay? But wow, it's even black people were hating on black people. No, it's black people trying to hold your feet to justice and say you're nothing but a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're not trying to help us black folks. You're worse than at least Donald Trump. At least with him, he's honest about the fact that it's easy to see that he's a liar, and he's honest about what he wants to do. He wants to come in and do all kind of mess, okay? But you, on the other hand, act like you're coming as a savior when you're worse, when you're just as bad as them.
I didn't the secretary of vacant properties respond to my constant emails and constant phone calls seeking clarity, Baba.
They never
Seeking
answered.
clarity.
Constant emails, constant phone calls, but not me calling one time. But how about this? Why didn't they respond when I said, where do I need to go to pay this money? Okay? Why didn't you show up and just pay the money? See what I'm saying? Don't make any sense. Let's fast forward, y'all, because I'm ready. I'm done with this. We're going to fast forward to the end, see if he has another lie I can catch him in, and that'll be it. Time me to get, I'm hungry to get something to eat, y'all. Let's fast forward a little bit. Sorry, he's not playing. What's going on here? Let me see here, y'all. You know what? Let me check something on my phone. I'll be right back. I had my phone in airplane mode, and because somebody was calling me, okay, and I was trying to make this video before somebody called me during the video, okay, so I had to get rid of that. All right, so let's look at this. Let's see what he's saying here.
Believe in the truth. They do not believe in the truth.
Yeah.
They believe in views and clicks, and they will make up anything to satisfy their audience so they can get their views and clicks. So I'm thinking it's a lie, Baba. I'm like, we ain't got nothing in the mail. I just checked the mail yesterday. Baba, I was just down there. And checked the mail. So, because this could be true, I call a Garveyite sister in Wilmington, Delaware, who lives near the school. And I said, and I also text my brother Kev, and I text one of my neighbors. I text 3 people asking them to go past the school and see if there's another set of paper on the front door.
Let's see what this says here. Okay. Now, this is Linda Honor, who's been talking about Dr. Umar for years. We can see it. This seems to be one of the papers that was put in the school. And it says here, let me try to zoom in. Past due fees are not subjected to, okay, let's see here. It says, this doesn't seem to be any in particular here. Okay, but let's look at what it says here in yellow. Past due fees are not subjected to requests for a waiver. All past due balances must be paid in order to receive a waiver of the current year's fee. Excuse me. Additionally, all properties must be registered to receive a waiver of registration fee. Okay.
Because the haters, Baba, stole the set of sheriff cell paperwork off the Frederick Douglass High School doors.
Let's stop right there. Dr. Umar said that the haters sold the sheriff cell paperwork. So that proves, Dr. Umar, that out of your own mouth, that the school is in threat of a sheriff's cell. Okay, out of your own mouth. It's not the YouTubian struggle screamers making up a lie. You yourself out of your own mouth said that. This is the first time I've heard him ever say that before. He's admitting that. So that shows that you yourself allowed that school that you bought for 400 grand, and you had $1 million left over, that you allowed the school to be in arrears so much out of your own mouth that it could have gone in a sheriff's cell. And people should trust you to be the principal and administrator over a school for black boys. Why?
And sent it to YouTube. You feel me? So that means there's another set on the Garvey building. So I hurry up and ask 3 people, can you please go past the school and see if there's another set of paperwork? I need to know if they lying or if this is true. So the good sister, bless her heart, she went and got the paper. She said, Doc, I got it. She took pictures of each page. She sent it to me, and I saw it for myself, Baba. It was real. If you don't pay off this money, we selling your school in 20 days. Baba, let me ask you a question.
So I reached in my back pocket and said, bam, there you go. Let's move on. Is that what he's going to say here next? Let's see.
We go from April the 1st. April the 1st. Can I get a one-time waiver exemption applied retroactively? Because if they do that, Baba, we owe nothing. She says she's going to get back to me. I don't hear from nobody from April the 1st until August the 7th. No.
So now he's saying, remember before he said he heard from March the 7th to August 8th. Now he's saying, and I literally wrote that down. Now he's saying from April the 1st to August the 7th. He's changed it up again. All right. Why is he trying to get the hookup? Why don't you have the money?
Mail comes from the March 7th. Oh, nothing. She says she's going to get back to me. I don't hear from nobody from April the 1st until August the 7th. No mail comes from the March 7th letter until August the 8th. So if you're counting from the last time we received correspondence, Baba, that's March the 7th, 5 months. If you're counting from the last time I spoke to somebody on the phone, that's the first week of April, 4 months, no matter how.
Now he's going back. Now you may say, oh, well, he got you there. No, he doesn't, because he said, remember, he said I had spoken to anybody, and it was basically silence from March the 7th. All right, but now he's trying to, and he's catching himself in his lies here. Okay, but let's continue.
You cut the cake. We did not hear from the city at all from 4 months to 5 months. Now, why didn't we hear from the city? Shouldn't we have gotten a warning? Shouldn't something have been sent between March the 7th and August the 8th? I don't know, Baba. What do you think?
Should have gotten.
I thought you said March the 7th and August the 7th. And August the 7th. But anyway, he's saying, let's take his word for it. Let's say that there are months that passed when he didn't hear from anybody. Okay? If we believe that story, even if there were 2 months, 3 months, whatever, 4 months, whatever case it be, it could be 10 months. The problem is this: every month that passes does not make you look better. It makes you look worse. Because that's time that you could have been handling this. That's time you should have been at City Hall, but you weren't there. You were traveling the world with donors' money. That's what you were doing, asking for cash apps or PayPal's. You were not with the school. Okay.
Advance notice.
5 months, Baba. 5 months.
And yeah, most notices are at least 30 to 60-day notice. Sometimes 90-day notice.
For 5. Baba, the one and only letter we got dealing with this situation was dated March the 7th. We never got another piece of mail or email dealing with this situation since March the 7th.
And it's interesting, the deputy responded.
If they gave you one letter, and you knew there was a problem, and you did not pay off whatever needed to be paid off, it's 100% your fault, period. If they gave you no letters, and you were paying attention to what was going on with the school in the first place, it's still 100% your fault. Simple as that. You need to be watching over the property that you buy. And he knew this because when he purchased the school had debts already. So he already knew when he got the school that there were debts from that. That's another thing he's not mentioning, I should say. He's not mentioning that part. He doesn't want you to understand it. Okay. Let's fast forward even more. This is a long video. I want to see if something else has happened here.
A lot of problems for us. Just as think about it, Baba. If we got to go through all this just to get a vacant property registration fee waived, think about that. If you got to,
why do you need a fee waived? I'm ending the video on this, y'all. Why do you need a fee waived? You see how I passed to the end of the video almost, and he's still talking about getting a fee waived. Y'all can support Dr. Umar if y'all want. All right. I don't make these videos about that. I don't make these videos on my page. Excuse me, about Dr. Umar, just to get clicks and views. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys truth. Look at my channel. I only got 2,000, maybe 800 some subscribers. All right. I've been on YouTube for many years. I've been on YouTube on my other page, and since like YouTube first started, I've been on this page for years. All right. YouTube has never, cut the check for me. All right. I got monetized maybe like a year or two ago, and I've never seen thousands of dollars from YouTube. All right. But I spend time out of my work. Like today, Labor Day. I'm on here making this video so you guys can be informed about the truth. That's what this is about. And not just me, but all the people that came before me that have been doing the exact same thing. Okay, trying to expose what this man is doing, because he is hurting our communities, and he has done this for a while. All right. It's as simple as that. Good versus evil. What he's doing is evil. All right. And more than people are explaining. Okay, I go into all kinds of about how every time he says something is racist, like how he said Wilmington was acting racist against him, and how he said, I knew from the very beginning that they didn't want me here. I knew all along they didn't want me here. All right, my response to that was, well, then why did you even buy the building there? Think about it. Why would you do that then? That's your fault. All right. How every time you cry racism, you hurt somebody that's actually dealing with a racist situation. Every time you cry foul racism, okay, when it's a lie, you hurt somebody that actually is dealing with that situation, because people won't believe them. And because you keep crying wolf over and over and over again about all this kind of stuff, when everything about him, in my opinion, is simply a lie and a scam. It's a affinity scam using black causes. That's basically what he does. All right. Because you continue to do this, you're hurting the whole entire black community. Okay. Everything that he does is hurting the whole entire black community. I have to say that. It hurts the whole entire black community. Because there are people like Dr. Umar. Well, I'll say this. I want to say like him, but I'll say this. There are people that are the real deal. I'll say that. There are black men that have started real schools, like what he's talking about. But it's real. It's not racist. It's not none. There are people that are doing stuff for real, and they're not racist. And the thing they're creating is not racist, like what he wants to create. It's not evil. But those men are looked down upon and are looked at as if they're like a Dr. Umar. He lures it over them as if he's the king of them, when in actuality he's nothing but a scammer. So people that are really doing this stuff, they look worse. They look bad because of him. He makes them look bad. There are so many things I could say about him just existing, doing what he's doing. Okay, that he exists and is doing what he's doing. Okay, I'm not saying that he should not exist. What I'm saying is that what he's doing as he's existing, okay, which is scamming black people just by him doing that day by day. It does more harm than people online even really talk about. Okay, it really, really does. People are focused. We have to focus on one scam or the other scam. Is it the school scam? Okay, is it excuse me? Is it the $500 date scam? Which one is it? You know what I'm saying? So many things he's doing. We kind of have to focus on that. Okay, just to get our video to get views on YouTube, because the YouTube algorithm is so crazy. If you don't put things up in a sensational way, a lot of times you can't even get a view at all. All right. And I know from personal experience being on YouTube for many years and seeing how I put up videos of all kind of important information and they get almost no views. But then if I put a sensational type title, or even though it's true, but I have to put it up in a sensational way just for it to get views. Okay. Because the way YouTube is designed. All right. So I'm just saying to say that because of that, most people can't really go deep into what he's really doing like that, okay? And how he hurts everybody because of the way this platform is even designed, all right? And platforms like it, because they're all alike. YouTube, TikTok, so on and so forth. They're all alike in that way, okay? So, y'all, I want to thank you for watching this video. Please share the video. Hit the like button, y'all. Have a blessed day. God bless. Peace.